Hey, this is Tim DeStasio, and what if I told you could accurately check a heat pump heating performance without gauging up using Measurequick? Let's find out how. This is just a quick check. We're not setting the system up in the cloud using the normal Measurequick procedures using qubits. We're just going to use Measurequick Classic this time. I like to take my supply air temperature reading just on the other side of the evaporator coil at the end of the blower. That way, if the strip heats come on intermittently, you're not going to see that in your temperature rise. We're only looking for the heat pump performance right now. And I like to take my return temperature coming into the air handler. That way I don't get any duct gain or losses accounted for my performance. And finally, we need to put on a outdoor sensor. I like putting mine between the coil and the wall on that side of the outdoor unit, because it will stay out of direct sunlight and will have an accurate reading. Finally, you want to get a liquid line temperature clamp on the liquid line coming out of the air handler. Make sure that you don't put it outside. You need to put it coming out of the air handler indoor coil. On a commercial system, checking approach is a little bit different because a lot of times, in addition to your return air duct, you also have an outside air duct. And that's why taking a mixed air temperature reading here where both of these ducts come together gives you as good as it's going to get as far as an accurate mixed air temperature. You don't want to put your sensor in the return duct. You certainly don't want to put in an outside air duct, but you do want to see what effect the mixture of those two have as they come together. Next, we're going to open up Measurequick and use the Measurequick Classic mode. This is because we're not benchmarking the system, but we do want to take advantage of Measurequick's unique diagnostic capabilities. Next, we need to profile the system, and even though we're checking it in heating mode, not invasively, the cooling profile is going to allow us to put some things in that Measurequick needs in order to be accurate. The tonnage is important because it's going to apply that tonnage to how much airflow that it predicts that we're moving. We need to, of course, tell it what refrigerant that the system uses. And finally, we need to also enter in the SEER rating because that will help Measurequick narrow down what temperature range it's going to be looking for. Make sure that Measurequick knows that you're checking the heating side of the heat pump non-invasively. And of course, allow 10 to 15 minutes for the system to stabilize. Don't be alarmed if Measurequick gives you this red flag. That's because you have not yet hooked up your suction line temperature clamp, and you probably won't need to. First of all, on most heat pumps, those suction lines are very hard to access, and you don't really need it in order to check the system non-invasively using approach temperature. As we can see from the first screen, Measurequick is telling us that we have low airflow and a high temperature split. That's indicative of an indoor airflow problem. So hopefully before you even started this test, you did a visual inspection of things like the air filter, the blower wheel, and the coil, and you've ruled these out as being a problem. If not, go ahead and do that now, because in this case, Measurequick is telling us we have an airflow problem. In the next screen, you want to see if your liquid line is even in range, whether it's in the green. Now, Measurequick is predicting what your subcooling is, but since Measurequick is not actively looking at pressure, converting it to saturation temperature, and getting true subcooling that way, I wouldn't give that a lot of confidence. But you want to make sure that your liquid line is in the green or in range. If it's too warm, then you may have an airflow problem. If it's too cool, you may have an overcharge or an undercharge situation. Now we get to approach temperature. Approach temperature is calculated by subtracting our return temperature from our liquid line temperature. So we should always have a temperature difference between those two. Our liquid line should always be warmer than the air that's entering the indoor coil. We always want to have a little bit of heat left over in the refrigerant by the time it exits the indoor coil. A typical system, in my experience, will run between 10 degrees and 20 degrees of approach temperature. If it's very cold outside, you're going to be closer to 10 degrees. If it's very warm outside, you're going to be closer to 20 degrees or perhaps a little bit higher. Now remember, Measurequick told us in an earlier screen that we had an airflow problem. So we want to try to correct those airflow problems before making any modifications or recommendations on the unit. Too high of an approach temperature is an indicator of an indoor airflow problem. Too low of an approach temperature either indicates that you have an undercharge or possibly even an overcharge. If anything looks abnormal while checking the system non-invasively, this should trigger a gauge up. This way you'll have additional data to base your diagnosis on, like superheat and subcooling and pressures. So in conclusion, the best way to take care of a system is to use Measurequick to benchmark this system in cooling mode, and then every subsequent visit from that point on, you can check the system non-invasively, unless you think there's a problem and a reason to gauge up. Heat pump heating performance checks do not have to be a mystery. Measurequick can help. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please make any comments or ask any questions in the comment section below, and as always, please be safe.